Hi, everyone. Steve Adubato on behalf of Mary Gamba and our entire team. Welcome to Lessons in Leadership. We're joined by two leaders in the field of media. Lisa Marie Falbo, who is the founder, one of the two founders and a managing partner at Media First Group, and also Gerald D'Ambra, who is the founder and managing partner, Media First Group. Lisa Marie and Gerald, good to see both of you.
Great to be here, Steve.
Good to see you, Steve.
Now, where are you right now? What set is this?
This is our Nutley TV studio. So this is where we do a lot of the productions on our streaming channel on New Jersey.
Yeah. Let's talk about Lisa Marie. To fully disclose, Lisa Marie was a former terrific producer for us who has gone on to a whole range of new things in media. Lisa Marie, talk about On New Jersey as we put up the website for people to find out more. Lisa Marie?
She's still a terrific producer, by the way.
Yeah, and also developed as an on-camera personality as well. Very few people are good producers and on-camera personalities. Lisa Marie, go ahead.
Well, before I tell the story about On New Jersey, Steve, I learned from the best, and I don't say that lightly, and I really mean that from the heart, because everything I learned about this industry, on camera, off camera, business, marketing, literally came from you. So I thank you.
You know what? I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Lisa Marie. So any mistakes you make, I have had nothing to do with or everything to do with.
you taught me the good, the bad, and the ugly. No,
trust me, you saw it all. Lisa Marie, tell everyone what On New Jersey is, because it's an important streaming service that people should know more about. Go ahead.
Yeah, so On New Jersey, we are the world's only New Jersey dedicated streaming channel, all Garden State news, talk, sports, and entertainment.
And Gerald, let me ask you something. We're part of legacy media on one level. We're partners with public broadcasting, as Lisa Marie knows well. We're partners with them. We produce our independent programming, but we stream it everywhere we can. Is it fair to say, Gerald, that we don't have the luxury to be on any or in any one place in media? Gerald?
I mean, you have to be everywhere today, and that's what we aim to do. You know, we look at every platform that we could possibly get on, and we put our content there. It's when you limit or you try to, put your content behind the firewall, it really hurts you. So, we see social media as good of a platform as a website or a fast channel or an app. And we put our content out in as many places as we can because the eyeballs are there. So why not?
So, Lisa Marie, in light of Gerald saying that, the paywall, right? You want to see our content? You sign up and we'll get your credit card. Okay. Now, that's not the way we operate either. And thank God for our underwriters and sponsors who allow us to do what we do. You mentioned the business side before. Lisa Marie, for you, who loves media, has always wanted to be a part of media, how challenging is it for you? Paywall is what it is, but we need to get paid and we need that money. How challenging is it for you to juggle journalism and business?
As you know, it's 24/7. And then throw in a husband, 2 kids, a house, the kids are on my lap as I'm doing calls, as
Yes.
Gerald knows, right? And thank God for COVID, honestly, because that allowed, I think, normalcy in that situation, because I don't think I would be able to juggle all that I do if work from home wasn't a thing. It's tough because you have to wear multiple hats at the same time, but it's such a rush. It's so much fun. And again, Steve, I learned from the best because I saw you do that all the time.
Yeah, we had no choice, because if you don't have that money, you're not able to do what you do. But
Exactly.
Gerald, to Lisa Marie's point, I know she didn't mean thank God for the horrific parts of COVID. Thank God
Correct.
that it has allowed us to do this, because I'm convinced, because we were in studios everywhere, in Lincoln Center, at the Tisch WNET studio, in downtown Newark at our NJPBS studio, and we love those studios. But logistically, for us to do this, you're in Nutley, I'm in another location, my colleague Mary Gamba is in another location, and we join when she joins me for Lessons in Leadership, and our other producers are in Pennsylvania, Connecticut, all over the place. It's a long-winded way of getting to this. To what degree has this remote reality, Gerald, allowed us to do things and have guests on that are logistically a lot easier
It allowed us to launch our entire channel because without having in-person guests, in-person guests are difficult. It takes a lot of time. It takes staff. There's costs. I have to turn the lights on in the studio. But when you're remote, it keeps all of the costs down. And what we've done and how we've built our business is we built our own custom control room. We have kept the cost down. So we don't have the costs that legacy media has. We don't have necessarily the real estate costs. We don't have the equipment costs that they have. And we're able to do shows with a lot less staff than you would see at a traditional television station. So we're very light, very nimble in terms of how we can produce TV shows, even live TV shows. I think a lot of people would be shocked with how few people are actually behind a live TV show because the technology takes the place. Like, I'll give you an example. We do live call-ins. We don't have a call screener anymore. We have an automated system that looks up callers, that automatically screens the calls, and then our hosts or our director can put the calls to air, drop calls. They could both have the ability to do it. So it puts controls in the hands of the talent, the producers, the technical directors. Anyone on your staff can log in and take control if they really need to. And that's how we built our system. It's really helped us keep our costs down.
And keeping costs down, obviously, this keeps our costs down as well. But Lisa Marie, I'm going to follow up on what Gerald said. You were with me, I believe, when I was teaching at different universities and trying to teach about communication and media. And there's where I'm going with this. Do you believe if I were teaching a course or anyone else teaching a course in journalism or media today, that the teaching, the training, and the coaching of future people in media would be dramatically different today than it was just 10 years ago?
I think technically speaking, yes, but you weren't teaching that, right?
Side.
Yeah.
On the production side. Go ahead.
No, because look, to be a good producer, it's about connecting the dots. It's about building up the story. It's about understanding the moment and what's going on, and that's timeless.
Even though it's timeless, to what degree, Lisa Marie, are you concerned that the trust of those of us in media, President Trump, and it's not political at all, has called us the enemy of the people. We're not sure who exactly he's talking about and when. But for those of us in legacy media, we have to deal with the reality. There are more and more folks who may not trust us, even though at PBS, one of the most trusted media platforms ever. However, there are more questions than ever. How concerned are you, Lisa Marie, with people not trusting us?
It is very concerning. And I think that's why with On New Jersey, we make such an effort to make sure that we're telling the whole story. We are totally nonpartisan. If we have a Democrat on, like for example, on our New Jersey Politics with Laura Jones, if we have a Democrat
Laura's
on,
terrific.
in the next, and Laura is the best. We also have a Republican on. We want every side to be heard. And I think that wins back trust. I think when you turn on the TV and you see someone have an angle, that's where trust gets lost. But with us, we really make sure that people are getting the whole story.
Lisa Marie has it right, and I've said this many times before. We don't have a horse in any race. We don't pick sides. And if you think you know where we're coming from, you don't, because we don't have a position. We just have folks with different points of view. And that's why media leadership is so important. And I want to thank Lisa Marie and Gerald for joining us on and Jay as the streaming service. We wish you both success because those of us in the media business need to stick together. Well done, team.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
I didn't screw you up too much, did I, Lisa Marie? Right? I mean,
no.
When you're me, right?
No.
Yeah.
No, it was perfect. Yeah, it was great.
I'm taking all the credit. Stay with us. We'll be right back. This edition of Lessons in Leadership is made possible by the Buccino Leadership Institute at Seton Hall University, Prager Metis, Valley Bank, the International Union of Operating Engineers Local 825, the North Ward Center, the New Jersey Sharing Network, the Helix, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, Fedway Associates Inc., Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, Choose New Jersey, and Seton Hall University, showing the world what great minds can do since 1856.
This is Mary Gamba. If you want more leadership tips and tools, log on to stand-deliver.com. That's stand-deliver.com.
When people were coming here to build the future, they needed a bank they could trust. But no one thought we could grow beyond a small town. They called us just another sleepy community bank. We proved them wrong. And for almost 100 years, Valley Bank has been committed to showing you what's possible. So, let them say whatever they want about us. We'll just keep being us. Because whatever you want to do next, Valley will be here to make it possible.
All right, you thought I could do this show alone, but clearly I cannot. So back with me is my colleague, our co-anchor and executive producer, Mary Gamba. We're joined by our friend and colleague, Lori Roth, global managing partner at Prager Metis CPAs. Good to see you, Lori.
Good to see you too.
Hey, Lori, do this for us. We have done a tremendous amount of work together with the emerging leaders at Prager Metis in our coaching business. Define what an emerging leader is and what we expect of those leaders moving forward, because the bar is pretty darn high.
It is. So we really try to define our future leaders, our emerging leaders, as people who not just have potential, but who will take advantage of the opportunity put in front of them. And part of that opportunity is the training and the conference that we do together, because I really think that's an investment in their future and in ours as well, because as they develop and grow and become strong, educated, and intentional leaders, then we all benefit.
And leadership development, not an option, I'll do it or not do it. It's a necessity, is it not?
I believe it is if you're going to succeed. I think that, it's an option. You can choose not to do it. You can choose not to be on that path, but you're not going to get there. That's for sure. So I really do think that it's important to focus on being the best leader that you can be and your own personal development in order to develop professionally.
Mary, as I'm listening to Lori, I'm thinking about some of the people over the years who, when they're told, listen, we're going to provide you leadership coaching, they'll say, no, I don't need it.
Nope, I'm good. I've arrived. And Steve, and Lori knows, Steve and I share a brain after 25 years, and I was going to jump in and say, Lori, how do you...
My part of the brain is getting smaller, but go ahead.
How do you gently encourage those people on your team who are resistant to, not your team, I'm saying like you Universal,
any team.
Right? Any team. How does a leader on any team, because we have coached people at a variety of organizations, and Steve always loves to say, it's not how they come in, it's how they leave. And Steve has a pretty good batting average. They come in resistant and then they leave and they're like, wow, I really learned a lot. But how do you encourage those leaders of the benefits of that coaching who are really just, they've got their walls up and they think, I've arrived and I don't need this?
Right. I would challenge you to think it's not necessarily that they think they've arrived. I think it's an insecurity. I think they might view it as something that is, I don't want to say remedial, but something that is saying, in the old days, you had a tutor if you were struggling and you needed a tutor. Do you know what I mean? Now the best students have tutors in order to do even better than they can do. I think the people that are resistant are looking at as, there's something wrong with me and I need to you're telling me there's something wrong with me and it needs to be improved, rather than seeing it as an opportunity. So how do you deal with that? I think you have to illustrate the opportunity. You have to let them know, I think, that this is an investment that we're making in them and in the firm because we believe in them. And if they don't and believe in themselves enough to take that opportunity, then they're not the right people.
Well said. Do this for us. Explain to us first what private equity is, and then private equity vis-a-vis a firm like yours.
Sure. So private equity has been around for a long time. It's basically a capital investment into a number of different areas, either into a company, into an industry, things like that. So when you hear about private equity in our industry at this point, it's an industry that a lot of private equity companies want to get into. It's a good business. It's a strong business. It's an industry that is, I don't know if you want to call it a necessary evil, but it's something that everyone needs. I think they're not, accounting firms aren't going anywhere. Advisory firms become more and more valuable and more important as time goes on. So in our industry right now, it is the path that the industry is going in. There's been a large capital investments in a lot of different firms. And I think that it's raising the value of the firms. And it's, again, another really big opportunity for firms that are looking to embrace it. rather than fight it.
And Lori's talking about trends. Mary, let's see how much of a brain we share. Were you going to ask about AI and accounting?
I was. I love it.
I know.
I really was. Well, because there were two things. When she was talking about that, and I was, the need to pivot, be agile, and we all have to grow and we can't resist. And then once she started talking about, all right, we need to embrace this, I'm like, we got to go to AI. So Steve, I'll throw it back to you.
No, Mary, pick it up because
I'll pick it up then. No, I'm happy to pick it up. So Lori, we have been, and it's so funny, maybe we'll start calling it like Lessons in Leadership: the future of artificial intelligence in leadership. And would love to get your perspective, in particular, how AI is, or how you perceive it will be, impacting the work that you do at Prager Metis and the work that your team does.
Sure. So AI is here. It's here to stay. It's a phenomenal thing. I think it is, it's really incredible. I mean, if you think backwards to other major changes that have happened in the world, in our industry, in our professional lives, this is among the largest, right? I mean, you think about the World Wide Web, and originally people only used it to like connect to people, or AOL was the original thing. We said, how is this ever going to get used in business? And then the World Wide Web grew and expanded, and we rely on it in our everyday life, I think, from the moment we wake up until the moment we go to sleep. And I think AI will become the same thing. I think it's already very, very impactful just in the power of the intelligence and its ability to learn and to continue. I think that what's going to happen is it's going to impact us, our industry, the business world, every aspect of our lives in terms of, I think, taking over for things that will allow us to upskill people. In other words, it's not going to replace people. I think you're still going to need the human touch, the human thought process. That's the way AI learns, is from the human thought process. So you still need that component even when you're utilizing AI. But the advantage that it'll give you is to be able to process large volumes of data so quickly. It'll allow you to think outside the box and use your abilities in an advisory capacity in the places where it's going to need the human experience and the human knowledge and education. But it'll take away the things that might be dragging us down, that it'll be able to do quicker and faster. And it'll actually probably point us in more directions that we don't necessarily open our minds to, because I think it's going to be able to identify opportunities maybe even faster than we are.
One quick follow-up on this last question. One of the things that, and Lori, we've had so many conversations about this offline and other settings, particularly in our leadership development, that building relationships, establishing relationships, AI is not going to replace that. And it's been a big part of your professional life. You're one of the top, in terms of the New Jersey Business and Industry Association, one of our partners. What role do you have there right now? Because I remember when you joined and you quickly moved to one of the highest levels from an advisory point of view. What role do you have there?
Currently, I'm the vice chair of the board of trustees, but I'm the incoming chairperson of the board of trustees.
Yeah.
Starting in, yeah.
I'm the incoming chair. Okay. So, and to Michelle Sekirker and our friends, we say thank you for being our partners. Here's where I'm getting at. AI can't replace relationship building trust in this way, and the personal side of it. How intentional? I stole that word from Mary. It was her favorite word in 2024.
That was so 2024.
Yes, 2024. How intentional have you been, and do you continue to be in your relationship building?
I think that's key to everything. I really do. Even in the use and the integration of AI, it has to be based on our relationships to figure out the right way to do it, right? You can Google something, it can have an AI search. It'll show you that AI is coming up with the answer. It can be wrong as much as it can be right. Without the personal side of it, looking at it to be able to determine if it's right or wrong, you don't have anything. And the same thing with your relationships. I mean, that's the key to everything, is those relationships. That's what's going to bring the opportunities. That's going to help us to integrate the artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is just that. It's a tool. And we have to make sure that we use it that way, and that we use it to expand the opportunities by taking some things off of our plates that give us the opportunity to be able to use our time in a better way.
and building relationships and other things. Lori Roth is Global Managing Partner at Prager Metis. Lori, thank you once again for joining us. We appreciate it.
Of course, thank you.
You got it. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
This is Mary Gamba. If you want more leadership tips and tools, log on to stand-deliver.com. That's stand-deliver.com.
Promotional support for this edition of Lessons in Leadership with me, Steve Adubato, and my colleague Mary Gamba has been provided by NJ.com, NJBIA and New Jersey Business Magazine, CIANJ and Commerce Magazine, and the Meadowlands Chamber and Meadowlands Media. Welcome back to Lessons in Leadership. Steve Adubato with Mary Gamba, my colleague. See what happens when you're not present? You're a word ahead. Scarlett, stop laughing behind the camera. With Mary Gamba, my colleague. Mary, how about this? So I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. There's an article that I came across in Psychology Today. Mary studied psychology in college.
That's my degree, yes.
Yeah. And this is an article by Dr. Lynn Margolis. The Psychology of People Who Need to Be Right. In parentheses, some people refuse to admit they are wrong. So let's talk about the psychology of people who need to be right in leadership positions. First of all, from your perspective, what causes so many of us to be so obsessively needy about being right or being seen as right, whether we're right or not?
I like that you added that PS in there. I believe it is ego. Very probably first and foremost, it is that ego. That person usually was not ever told when they were a child upbringing. I know that a lot of only children, sorry, Bill, my husband's an only child. I've witnessed it, and not even a need to be right, but they believe that. It's not even a need to. I want to.
They believe they're right.
They believe it. They genuinely believe.
By the way, Elvin and Frank, I don't know if I'm right, but come on in because we're going to need you. Go ahead.
Literally, when it comes to the need to be right, I believe that it's ego. I believe that it's sometimes defensiveness, meaning that if I'm not right, then I've got to be wrong. So I think those are the two main factors when it comes to needing or believing that you're always right, because you cannot possibly admit that you're wrong.
Okay, let me complicate this. So, Frank, good to see you as always, and you too, Elvin.
Nice to see you.
Frank, let me ask you. Both of you have interacted with coaches of sports teams, and I know Elvin has been a coach at times and continues to coach. And Frank, have you ever coached before?
Not sports, no.
Okay, I got it. But you mentored and coached others, including Elvin, in the business. So here's a question. In sports, you ever notice when things go wrong, things don't play out the way you want them to, you lose a game, mistakes are made. Whether it's the quarterback or the coach or some other leader, Frank, I was right. They refused to acknowledge that they made mistakes, that they didn't play someone that they should have played, or they didn't pull someone out when they should have pulled that person out, or they called the wrong play. Do you think Mary's right that it's mostly defensiveness and ego, Frank Brown?
I think it's person by person. I've seen it where it was a decision and they didn't want to admit that they made the wrong decision, because we've seen a lot of basketball in the last 10 years. It's a hard one. And unfortunately, I'm still stuck back on what Mary said about only children being an only child. But
wait.
I'm going to move forward.
So hold on. Mary said that Bill, her husband, is an only child, and therefore what? What was her conclusion?
That we always have to be right.
Or the older child. I believe that it's both firstborn and only children.
Mary's revising her theory right now in real time.
I'm tweaking. If you were to put a hierarchy, only children.
I'm a firstborn, Mary. I don't always have to be right.
Let her get it out. Hold on, Mary. Lay it out, and then we'll comment. Go ahead.
Not always be right, but I believe, and again, I studied this in psychology, the birth order matters. in your relationships with people, in your perception of the world, in your perception of yourself. So
The
I'm
need
just
to be right. Give us your theory on the need to be right.
and that's it. That usually I found that people who are firstborn, no offense, or only children, who now I'm realizing I'm, and Steve, you were firstborn? No, you're not the old.
I'm in middle. I'm in the middle.
You're in middle. I have a whole other theory of the middle child, but we could deal with that.
Will you just get it out there so they can comment?
That's it. That's what I said. That in order, it's only child, and then yes, I believe that also firstborn tend to want to be.
And Elvin, comment on that. She has opened up a whole new Pandora's box.
Well, no, I mean, I doubled back, and I probably shouldn't have because we're not moving forward. But
No, don't worry about it.
I was very surprised at that comment. And honestly, I think it's just kind of a human thing where people want to be correct. I don't know if it's men, women, firstborn, only children. The bottom line is no one really wants to be wrong.
It's not want, it's need, Frank. It's this article, the psychology of people need to be right. That's not the same as want to be right.
Well, or wanting to be wrong. The bottom line is, I mean, I'd have to read the whole article. The real thing is, I just found a little issue in that hit a little nerve when she said only children. I went, really?
Clearly there's tension on the lessons in leadership team. No,
okay.
Elvin, what do you got? By the way, Mary, let's make sure we share this with Elvin and Frank and put it on our website. Go ahead. You got 60 seconds left. Elvin Badger, go ahead.
Spit it out, Steve. Yeah, no, I'm just going to say that everybody always wants to be right. But me personally, if I'm wrong, I have no offense saying I'm wrong. Like, I'm quick to be like, hey, you were right, I was wrong. So, and in case in point, real quick, I had a conversation with a parent a couple of weeks ago about their child not starting. Their child used to start.
You as a coach.
You as a coach. Yeah. The child was the MVP for me last year. But I got another kid on my team. Kid's kind of bigger, and I felt like I needed to start him. So I told this parent, I said, you know what? I thought your son was handling it well, because of the fact that, he was still coming off the bench, still giving me big minutes, big points. So I thought he was handling it well. And he was like, on the car ride to the game and on the car ride home, he's down because he's not starting. So I had a conversation with the child, because I was like, you should have come to me as your coach. I would have explained to you why I made this decision. But I told that child, I said, listen, I'm going to start rotating my starting lineup to make sure that you're in the lineup because, unfortunately, I have 6 starters.
Okay.
But because these children are still young, 6th grade, let me help him out while helping the team. So
you sat this kid on the bench and destroyed his dreams.
Oh, no, that's not what he said.
Well, in his mind...
Listen, we got to go right now.
We got to go.
What else? We got to go.
I said in his mind, yes. But we got to go.
You hurt the kid. That's all right. Lessons in Leadership. We'll see you next time. This edition of Lessons in Leadership is made possible by the Buccino Leadership Institute at Seton Hall University, Prager Metis, Valley Bank, the International Union of Operating Engineers Local 825, the North Ward Center, the New Jersey Sharing Network, the Helix, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, Fedway Associates Inc., Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, Choose New Jersey, and Seton Hall University, showing the world what great minds can do since 1856.
This is Mary Gamba. If you want more leadership tips and tools, log on to stand-deliver.com. That's stand-deliver.com.
Promotional support for this edition of Lessons in Leadership with me, Steve Adubato, and my colleague Mary Gamba has been provided by NJ.com, NJBIA and New Jersey Business Magazine, CIANJ and Commerce Magazine, and the Meadowlands Chamber and Meadowlands Media.
When people were coming here to build the future, they needed a bank they could trust. But no one thought we could grow beyond a small town. They called us just another sleepy community bank. We proved them wrong. And for almost 100 years, Valley Bank has been committed to showing you what's possible. So, let them say whatever they want about us. We'll just keep being us. Because whatever you want to do next, Valley will be here to make it possible.